Did you know, business owner over there, that keeping everything on your plate isn't a sign of strength? It's a recipe for burnout. If you're constantly overwhelmed and drowning in tasks, you might think you're the only one who can get it all done. But the truth is, that mindset is holding you back. In today's episode, I'm breaking down the 4 simple steps to build bulletproof systems that can run your business without you being involved in every little thing. Are you ready to finally step off that hamster wheel and take control of your time? If so, let's get started. Are you that driven entrepreneur who believes that working harder holds the key to your dreams? Are you drowning in the day-to-day tasks, wishing you had more time to strategize and cast the vision for your business growth? Hi, I'm Donna Dubé, your guide on this entrepreneurial journey. I've walked in your worn-out shoes, burning the midnight oil, convinced that sheer hard work was the secret to success. Just one more email, one more task, until I found myself on a one-way track to burnout. But here's the twist in the tale. I discovered that success isn't just about working harder, it's about working smarter. It's about being intentional with our time. It's about steering our ship with focus, because no team, system, or automation can outperform a lack of direction. In this podcast, I'm sharing with you all the strategies for business growth that it took me years to learn. If you're ready to step out of the daily overwhelm so you can amplify your profits, then I'm ready to teach you. I believe the only limit to your business growth is the one you set for yourself. Go grab a notebook, warm up that cup of tea, and let's do this. Welcome back, business owners. Today, I want to talk a little bit about systems. And not just any systems, but the kind that allow your business to run without you constantly being in the weeds, juggling to-do lists, and feeling like you're always on the verge of burning out. And I know for some of you, this just sounds like a pipe dream, but stick with me. This can be your reality. And I totally understand there's some resistance that comes up when you're thinking about systematizing your business. When you're just trying to keep your head above water, the idea of creating systems can feel like adding even more to your plate. And let's be real, most of us trust ourselves more than anyone else to get the job done right. So the fear of handing over control is real. But here's the thing. What's the alternative? Do you want to keep feeling like you're a slave to your business with every single decision needing to go through you? I've talked to so many business owners who say they'll get to building systems, air quotes, when things slow down. You know this as well as I do. The problem is things never slow down. There's always something more. Waiting for that perfect moment to implement systems is a trap. The truth is, systems are what get you off the hamster wheel. They give you back your time, your energy, and your sanity. So today, we're diving into 4 simple steps to build bulletproof systems in your business, even if it feels like you're drowning in tasks right now. Now, before we get into the steps, I want to talk a little bit about why most people resist creating systems in the first place. And like I mentioned a little bit earlier, it's one of the biggest reasons is the fear of losing control. You worry that if you let someone else handle things, they'll make mistakes or tarnish your business's reputation. And yes, I get it. You probably can do things better than anyone else, but because you've been doing it so long. But here's the truth. Keeping everything on your plate because you think no one can do it like you is just going to lead you to burnout. You'll be stuck in the daily grind forever. And that's not a way to grow a business. Another reason I see business owners resisting systematizing has to do a little bit with our personalities. Many of us are type A high achievers who tend to struggle with letting go. I get it. You've got high standards, maybe even a little bit of perfectionism sticking out there. And it can feel so much easier to just do the task yourself rather than waiting for someone else to get it done, especially when it's not done on your timeline. We've all been there, jumping in to fix something when delegating would have been the better long-term solution. But the thing is, if we don't start trusting our team to take over, we'll never be able to step back. All right, so let's dive into these systems. And what exactly do I mean by systems? Well, simply put, they are the step-by-step procedures for how things run within your business. And it could be anything: how you respond to emails, how you handle refunds, what happens when a team member is out sick or on vacation. You see, systems aren't people reliant, they're process reliant. If you don't have systems, then you are essentially running your business on people reliance. And when life happens, because yes, it will happen, you are left scrambling. All right, so how do we actually start building these systems? Let's dive into these 4 steps. Step 1 is identifying your biggest frustration points. So whenever you're feeling the most pain in your business, that's where you need a system. Think back to the last time something went wrong or you were upset with how something played out. Was there a system in place? If there wasn't, or if the system failed, that's your first clue. I want you to think about this like a roof where you're plugging holes. You want to start with the biggest leaks, right? Start by identifying and fixing those pain points that you've already begun to feel some relief. All right, step 2 is documenting the process. And I know many of you are already rolling your eyes and thinking, oh, this is so tedious. But trust me, it's essential. You already have a process for everything you do. It's probably living in your head for most of you. And the goal here is to get it out of your brain and onto paper. But why, you ask? Because when we rely solely on our memory, we're setting ourselves up for inconsistency and human error. Even if you think you've got it down to a science, you know those little things called distractions? They can creep in and we can miss things. By creating a checklist or a written process, we're ensuring that nothing slips through the cracks. So the question is, who should document the process? This one's easy. The person doing the task should be the one to write it down. The reason for this is that they're the expert on how it currently works. And you or someone else can obviously review it and approve it later. But don't make this more complicated than it has to be. If there's a task that you as business owner are responsible for, you can record yourself doing the task on Zoom or Loom and transcribe that video into step-by-step instructions. Review those instructions because you're probably going to have to make some adjustments, and then save that in a shared space like Google Drive and link it to your project management tool. Bingo. Task documented. You've got a video, you've got written instructions, and it's saved in a place where everyone can find it. See? It's not hard at all. Now, the 3rd step is a big one and one that we often miss. I like to call this performing a stress test. So this is where we see if the system actually holds up under pressure. It's not about just creating a system and then forgetting about it, right? We need to have someone other than the person who created it test it out. And this helps catch things that might have been missed. The system needs to be able to work for a person who doesn't normally do it, not just the person doing the job right now. So you want to have someone else follow this new system that's been documented and see what issues arise. And then, of course, tweak it accordingly. And then you want to stress test it again. And this process, sure, it might take a few rounds, but it's essential to ensure that your systems are bulletproof. Because if you can have 2 or 3 different people run through this system who don't normally do that task and complete it successfully, then you know your documentation is spot on. And then our final step here is refining and improving. Systems are not static, my friends. They'll need to evolve as your business grows. Maybe the software you use changes, or maybe there's a more efficient way of doing things. I want you to be open to suggestions from your team and take time to assess your systems regularly, ideally at least once a year. What I try and do is set up a cadence for each system so that we're reviewing it on a 6-month basis. Just make it a task in your project management tool. When you find ways to improve efficiency while also maintaining quality for your clients, that's when you know that your systems are really working for you. Now, I want to give you a little bit of caution here. If you don't have systems set up in your business right now, and you work with a couple people on your team, and you start to want to implement putting systems into your business, not everyone is going to think highly of that. Generally, those who are underperforming might push back on systems because systems add a layer of accountability. And sometimes those team members can feel like they're being micromanaged. So you may find that as you're implementing systems in your business, you might lose a few people along the way. But that's okay. The right people will thrive in a structured, organized environment, and they'll appreciate the clarity that systems bring. And so will you. So you might be asking, okay, why go through all this effort like that? Those were 4 easy steps. You made it kind of simple, but why bother in the first place? 3 reasons for this. Number 1, I call security. You never know when emergency will hit, whether that's a team member quitting or something else entirely. Systems can make the transitions smoother. Remember, we're looking to be process reliant, not people reliant. The second reason for setting up systems is that systems free up your time as business owner. With clear processes in place, your team can take ownership of tasks, and they don't need to be constantly getting input from you. You're going to get a lot less questions, coming across your inbox or your Slack communication, and your team will feel more confident, and you feel less overwhelmed. And the third reason for setting up systems is consistency. I touched on this before, but systems ensure that your clients receive the same high-quality experience every single time, and that helps to build trust and loyalty. So that's it, my friend. 4 simple steps to systematizing your business. Identify the frustrations, document the process, stress test, and refine. Remember, as you're working on this, the goal here isn't perfection. It's creating something that will free up your time and help your business run smoothly, even when you're not there. And I can promise you, once you start putting systems in place, you're going to wonder why you didn't do it a lot sooner. Alrighty, I hope you dive in. Find one area in your business today where you can set up a system. Record yourself or your team member doing that task. Put it in the Google Drive and connect it to your project management tool. One step closer to systematizing your business. Take care, and we'll see you next week. Thank you for joining me on this episode of CEO Amplify. I appreciate you being part of our thriving community of ambitious business owners. If you enjoyed today's episode, I kindly ask you to share this podcast with a friend and take a hot minute to rate and leave a review. It would mean the world to me. Your feedback helps me reach more people and continue providing valuable content. Thanks so much for your support. Keep shining, and we'll catch you on the next episode.